The humble normal type. The Pokemon type most people, when younger, would completely disregard. Because why would I want a rat when I have some kind of Godzilla rabbit hybrid or God's biggest mistake? But as you get older and as more generations come around, the normal type became something quite interesting. The new Hisuian mon, specifically Hisuian Zoroark and Ursaluna, are hard to explain why the normal type is on them anymore. Well, maybe not Ursaluna, he is just a muddy bear, but normal types are pretty awesome. And a fun challenge as it sets a precedent for the region you're making, especially your early route normal types. From Rattata to Patrat all the way to Lechonk, the idea of an early game normal type has morphed from pests and rodents to something a bit more interesting. So let's go outside our house and explore the early area of Astara. Look, a map!
Dear God.
There's more.
No.
So this is a work in progress map I'm working on for Astara, but this early part I'm pretty happy with. This is your small town right here, and the strange rundown farm just across the way. And looming over you is the massive open city of Ozside. This outside area constitutes our first route and would be the best place to catch some early game Pokemon, after going here to get your starter. But explorers in Ozside would find something fun, an NPC who would freely give you one of the free Pokemon, sort of like the elemental monkeys of Gen 5. But instead, they're all free normal types that you can find here anyway. Thanks, I guess. Well, the secret is that the one you choose has its hidden ability when you evolve them, and some strong abilities they have indeed. While their stats might not be great, it'd be a big help to the early game. The other two you can catch around the area without their hidden ability. So first let's go to Trubond Beach and find a little creature. There's so many different types of rats in Australia, so I had to sift through many to find the perfect one. And I settled on the Rakali, also known as a water rat. It's cute. It has this big thick tail and it was perfect for one of the first Pokemon you would see. I wanted a dynamic pose as if it's leaping into the water away from you. It started out looking a bit too plague rat, with this skull mask. It was cute, but I opted instead to give this almost childlike nerdy look to it, instead with the fringe, which also helps show the idea that it has specialized fur on top. I jump between multiple combos of colours, but I like this combo the most, and it just has this Australian feel to the colours. Raswell, the beach rat Pokemon, a normal type. Found on all the coastlines and rivers of Astara, Raswell is small and easily frightened Pokemon that try to avoid human contact. They're quite bad at swimming, and their top coat is easily waterlogged, so they have evolved inflatable sacs on each of their paws that keep them buoyant. They'll train to swim every day as to avoid water predators. Once they become proficient enough at swimming, they will sadly evolve. So to people who don't know, there's this sort of trope for Aussies called beach rats or beach bums, for people who always hang and laze about at the beach. They have scraggly blonde hair and surfboards. I just had to make Raswell's Evo into one. This one sketch came to me so quickly, a surfer bro rat with long fur and a tail that could feasibly be turned into a surfboard. I gotta say, I love making Pokemon with fun little bits to them that play into the world. This one was super simple with colours. Literally just reuse Raswell's palette, although I made the nose white to emulate zinc. I cannot stress sun safety enough here, people in the Astara region. Beachum, the surf rat Pokemon, a normal and water type. Beachum's coat is easily waterlogged, which slows it down greatly. Its tail evolved to be able to inflate and flatten, thus becoming like a surfboard for Beachum, which it will use to quickly travel by surfing along coastlines. More adept at swimming, they still prefer to surf on the water to quickly move between feeding spots. Tourists in some Astara see Beachums as lazy because it will lay on beaches for hours. Beachum only do this when their fur is waterlogged to try and dry themselves out quickly though. Beachum has a new ability as its hidden ability called Waterlogged Fur. When hit by a water-type move or in rain, it lowers its speed but raises defense. However, in Sun, speed increases each turn but defense is lowered. So from the beaches we move a little inland around this area, and more commonly the rocky area above. We find tunnels all over, but only during the night do we find this next Pokemon. This Pokemon's name and inspiration came from a game my girlfriend and I did while driving, of creating Pokemon after Australian town names. It was fun. Comment if you'd like a video of me just making Pokemon based on that. The town of Wombara. A wombat. I just wanted a cute round boy, nothing too special here, just a happy boy with a big nose and bigger eyes, with little clawed feet able to sift through all that tough Astara and dirt. Some fun little markings added to a very basic brown coloration helps spice them up a bit, but they don't have to be anything too wild, it is an early game mon after all. Wombara, the wombat Pokemon, a normal type. Living in little burrows they made themselves, Wombara live solitary lives underground, digging tunnels using their little spade-like claws. Wombara are muscle-packed, although not looking it. When angered, they charge full force at their target and will do some serious damage. Properties have been known to be ruined because of a grumpy Wombara. When preparing to evolve, Wombara go underground and do not resurface till evolution has happened. How do you go above perfection? Some say it can't be done. I say make them rounder. I wanted Wombulet to be like a grumpy old person disturbed from their sleep. I think this one gives off big Dremogimon energy if you know Digimon at all. I wanted the nose to be sharper for some kind of ground dynamism, very sleek and very round, continuing off the colours of Wombara. I added the brown to the feet to signify he is a ground type now. This is weird, but when I'm making my Pokemon, I try to imagine them in-game moving about, and if I can imagine them, I kind of feel like I've got a good design. I can definitely see Wombulet slowly trudging around like a tank. Wombulet, the wombat Pokemon, a normal and ground type. The Lord of the Underground, Wombulet creates tremors wherever it is burrowing to the chagrin of Astarans. It adapted to have a pointy nose and coarse hair that helps push Earth out of the way when it burrows. Attacking a front-facing Wombulet is like trying to hit an iron shield. Made of pure muscle, Wombulet, when riled up, moved like a freight train and hit just as hard, capable of toppling houses, but it prefers to keep to itself. Bounding around the plains of Astara, and a bit of a pest to farmers' plants, is this next Pokemon. The idea was a very bubbly, Joey Wallaby, strange but a fun sight to see jumping around Astara. Kind of feels a little Scrappy-Doo in shape, but I think it captures later gen design pretty well. For colours, I kept it pretty tame, and it makes sense for a kangaroo to be our easiest to find early game normal type. Wateroo, the Wallaroo Pokemon, a normal type. Excitable and bouncy, Wateroo usually are found in rocky areas of Astara, where they live within caves and rocky overhangs. The yellow pouches on its stomach and feet are underdeveloped electric sacs. To produce any electricity, it must pump the feet pouches by jumping around, slowly building pitiful amounts of electricity. When it stands on its tail, Wateroo is preparing to kick someone and unleash the stored electricity, although the force of the kick is much stronger than the shock from the pouches. The first iteration of Wateroo's Evo kinda stank. It had this stiff pose, and even though I wanted the tail to be stiff, everything about it was just stiff, and it just wasn't Pokemon enough for me. Even the colours felt off. No matter what I added or changed, it didn't work. So I tried again. I went with a more dynamic pose, different proportions, with a thicker lower half and tail, so it looked like it had powerful ability with its legs, and a kinda more Pokemon style to its eyes. I'm much happier with this design. It kind of has Gudra energy to it. For colours, I went towards a darker colour scheme so it looks like a thunderstorm cloud. I had to change the tail. I didn't notice it until much later how it looked a bit inappropriate. But with that oopsie, I managed to make it look more like it had static electricity tail that spikes up when fully charged. Stomalia, the kangaroo Pokemon, a normal and electric type. Once evolved, Stomalia has fully developed electro sacs that allow it to generate and store massive amounts of electricity. When its tail tip inflates and the entire tail stands on end, beware of an attack from Stomalia. It has an extremely powerful lower body that allows it to launch itself into the air and land onto the ground with great force, protecting its bones and organs from harm and creating an electric blast around it. When it bounds around, it almost sounds like looming thunder on the horizon, giving it the nickname Stormbringer. These wouldn't be the only Pokemon you'd find out in the plains. Pokemon like Helioptile, Squeakomet, as well as Flipshock and even Scrome can be found around here. And that's not even mentioning the various city Pokemon you'd find in Ozside itself to catch. So who would you pick from our free early game Pokemon? Comment down below your answer, and if you liked the video, hit the like button and sub to see more content about the Astara region and other Pokemon videos. Next video we're going to learn about a mode of transport for the Astara region. It's a big place and we need to get around in style, as well as learning about our first encounter with Beast Titan Pokemon. It's changed the desert and the Pokemon surrounding in a strange way, so let's go deal with it. Thank you so much for watching.
Rats, we're rats, we're